Good afternoon, you're watching Staffslive with Jessica Skinner
and Rick Packer. The headlines this afternoon.
Body found in River Trent has been identified.
JCB creates 100 new jobs.
And firefighters told to get fit.
Police have confirmed the body recovered from the River Trent yesterday is that of missing Staffordshire teenager Tyler Gardner. They say they're not treating the death as suspicious. Marie Rain was at the scene earlier today.
I'm here beside the River Trent in Burton, where officers pulled a body from the water yesterday, shortly after 10 a.m. Official identification has taken place, and sadly it's that of Tyler Gardner, who went missing from Lichfield 2.5 weeks ago. Inspector Darren Oakley from East Staffordshire Policing Team says, "Sadly, this is a sad conclusion to our investigation to find Tyler. Our thoughts and sympathy go to his family and friends at this extremely difficult time." Now, his friends are already posting tributes on his Facebook site, which was set up in an effort to find Tyler when he went missing. They've said, "I'm never ever going to forget you, Ty. You mean so much to so many people. You really did have a heart of gold. I'll never forget that cheeky smile and that terrible haircut you had in primary school. To Tyler, you were the funniest and kindest lad I knew. You would do anything for anyone. You were always honest but never mean. We had some amazing times on the bus to college. You said to me, we need to go for a drink, and we never did. That is a massive regret of mine." This is Marie Rain reporting for Staffslive.
JCB has revealed it will take on over 100 people this year. They say they'll be spending £3.5 million on apprenticeship schemes. Raj Gill has more.
This September, JCB will be introducing an apprenticeship scheme allowing people to study up to a degree level. JCB in Uttoxeter has employed local triplets Katie, Jack and Liam Rao under an apprenticeship scheme. Katie is the first and only female welding apprentice at the firm. The company have said they hope to decrease unemployment.
Manufacturing is a good way of employing people. And it's far better that people have a job than being on the dole. And then manufacturing is a good way of employing people. It does mop up a lot of unemployment. If there are more, if manufacturers could, each manufacturer could increase its volumes, that would entail more employment.
JCB are due to take on 103 new apprentices this September. I'm Raj Gill, reporting for Staffslive.
Firefighters in Staffordshire have been told to lose weight or lose their jobs. Staffordshire Fire and Rescue Service is going to bring in compulsory fitness tests after concerns that some staff members are too unfit for their jobs.
They already have to pass a fitness exam before they're recruited, but until now have been allowed to pile on the pounds once they're employed. Staffordshire Fire and Rescue say if we do not undertake fitness assessments, we are at risk of breaching our duty of care by not ensuring staff are fit to undertake duties.
Staff have 10 months to get into shape before the tests start in January.
A man who was involved in a serious road accident on Tuesday is now in a critical condition at Birmingham's Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
David McCarroll came off his scooter after he hit a pedestrian who was crossing the Newport Road in Stafford Town Centre. 2 helicopters were sent to the scene and landed in nearby Victoria Park. He's being treated for broken bones, a collapsed lung and bleeding on the brain.
Shannon Blanks was crossing the road opposite the Tesco when she was struck. She is in a stable condition at the hospital. In March last year, work was carried out over safety fears at the Tesco junction on the road.
Libraries across Stoke-on-Trent, which face being merged with other council buildings to cut costs, are losing thousands of their customers. The City Council are considering sharing spaces such as children's centres and community hubs. It's part of a plan to raise £25 million from selling the buildings.
The funeral of former police officer David Rathband takes place tomorrow. The funeral will be a memorial of one of many Ralmote's victims when he went out on a murderous rampage in Northumberland back in 2010. Simon Pattinson has the details.
The funeral of police hero David Rathband will take place this weekend. The former officer who was shot by gunman Raoul Moat as he sat in his car in Newcastle upon Tyne 2 years ago hanged himself at his home in February. although a bitter dispute between David's twin brother Darren and his widow Kath, who split from David last year, has said that she does intend on attending the service, despite apparently David telling Darren he would never want her there before he died. He will be buried alongside his 18-year-old niece Naomi Essery, who died mysteriously in 2002. The ceremony takes place in Stafford tomorrow.
The Midland Media Awards took place last night, celebrating the success of people working in journalism and the media. Staffordshire University students did not win the award for Best Comer and Student Journalist.
But Peter Brooks, a sports journalism lecturer at Staffordshire University, said the nominations are still a major achievement.
Motorbike fans gathered at the new Staffordshire Triumphs dealership last night to celebrate its official opening. The showroom's the largest of its kind in Europe, selling high-end bikes during these tough economic times. Rebecca Duffett reports.
Judging by the turnout at last night's opening, there seems to be a high demand for the luxury bikes now on sale on Tunstall High Street. The new dealership is a replacement for the former BS bikes, but a lot more specialist. They've even produced a special bike for the Queen to commemorate this year's Diamond Jubilee. Staff celebrated the opening yesterday morning.
Open!
Before opening their doors to the public in the evening.
I'd like to hand you this back and say Staffordshire Triumph is officially open. Thank you very much.
The venue was packed out for last night's celebration, with bike enthusiasts flooding to see what was on offer. There was the unveiling of new models and a fashion show to keep people entertained. And despite the recession, there seems to be a lot of optimism for the business in the longer run.
Well, you see, at the end of the day, this has been a very strange recession, because if you're in work, if you're not relying on borrowed money, then frankly, you can have choice, you can do things. And in that respect, of course, a lot of people say, well, actually, I'll buy a bike and enjoy myself.
Staff here have been working for many years to get this venture finally open.
A motorcycle shop is not exactly friendly in some people's eyes, so perhaps they don't want it next door to them, or planning issues. And then also the retail side, it's not exactly, sometimes you have parking problems and things like that, so it has been a long time coming, yeah.
This is a new era for both the staff and the community of Tunstall, and a chance to show that business in Stoke-on-Trent is on the up. Rebecca Duffett reporting for Staffslive.
The new emergency centre at North Staffordshire Hospital has now opened. This means that the A&E department has moved from its old location at the old infirmary to the City General site. We sent our reporter Mark Kelso along yesterday to find out more.
The opening of the new emergency centre is the third part of a major regeneration scheme at the City General site. Notices are in place informing the public of the move. The new A&E department includes more and larger facilities than at the old infirmary, and also new state-of-the-art equipment. The chief executive at the hospital thinks the new department will be beneficial for staff and the wider community.
The old A&E was built in the 1960s to take 40,000 patients a year. Obviously this facility newly opened today, and it's built to take about 105,000 patients a year. So just in terms of sheer space, that's the really big thing. But the other thing is the amount of modern equipment we've been able to put into the new building. You know, just compared to the old building, it's just fantastic, really. Well, this has been the third move, and it's by far the biggest move we have. Over the next few weeks, we move some of the outpatient facilities in, and then we have a long break, and the renal department, that's the last department to move. That doesn't move till next December because we're still building that. I mean, I think clearly, compared to the other facilities, I mean, I think the important thing about hospitals are the staff who run them, really. And the staff are fantastic. But there comes a point when the facilities they're working in are not fit for purpose anymore. And I think the staff, they deserve this level of facility, because I think it means that we can provide the level of care that I think people deserve in this area.
The new emergency centre is the biggest part of the regeneration scheme at North Staffs Hospital, with the rest expected to be finished by next year. This is Mark Helsel at the University of North Staffordshire Hospital, reporting for Staffslive.
The level of child poverty in Stoke-on-Trent is rising, and the city is now ranked as the 8th poorest place in England.
Even though times are hard. Many people are hoping to change this by opening a food bank in the area. Abigail Reid has this report.
A pastor for several churches is preparing to accept food donations for the launch of the Stoke-on-Trent Food Bank. Volunteers at Wesley Hall in Sneyd Green are hoping to collect the food that they can give to families in poverty.
There was a report that came out nationally that told us that within the next 10 years there'll be 1 million more people, children living below the poverty line. So you just think about that for a second. 1 in 3 children live below the poverty line. And when we talk about below the poverty line, we're not talking they didn't get the newest DS or Wii game. What we're talking about, children who are going to sleep cold and hungry, waking up cold and hungry, being malnutritioned when they go to school. If they go to school malnutritioned, they don't study as well, they don't develop as well, they don't learn as well.
Some of the food will be stored in the cellar of the church, where the hampers will be made up to last families for 3 days, giving them nutritious and filling meals. The manager of the project hopes the scheme will run smoothly.
On a daily basis, we'll be delivering food to people in need. They're referred in by professional people that can recognise the need. They come to us with a voucher from that professional person and we give them 3 days worth of food. But we don't only give them 3 days worth of food. Our aim is to try and help these people get out of the crisis that they're in.
Anyone can give their time to help out at the food bank.
In like a food parcel, we'd have some tinned food like baked beans or spaghetti, some soup or biscuits, and then there's things like dry goods like rice and noodles and pasta and things like that, and jam and instant tea and coffee as well.
The food bank is expected to launch in May.
Donate to the food bank!
Sue Simcoe joins us now as the project manager of the food bank. So Sue, this is a relatively new project. Where do you see the food bank in a couple of years' time?
Food, but what can people also expect to receive when they come to you?
The main aim of the food bank is to give food, as you've said, but also really important is that they have a warm welcome when they come to the food bank. That they're welcomed by a friendly person that will sit them down, give them a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and chat to them, listen to their story, give them a listening ear. One of the things that we don't want to do is build a dependency culture, so we want to be able to signpost people to different agencies to try and get them out of the position that they are in. The main aim is to give them care.
So where exactly can they go to donate food?
The main warehouse of the Stoke-on-Trent Food Bank is based at Wesley Hall in Sneyd Green. It's a Methodist church in Noblet Road. That is the best place to take the food, but also we will be doing food drives in local supermarkets, schools will be collecting, churches will be collecting. So really, anyone that wants to buy food can find an outlet. There is a website and there is an email address for information, Stoke-on-Trent Food Bank at organise.org.uk.
Now, obviously it's a relatively new project, like we've already said. How do you see it moving forward into the future?
As I say, we want to see at least 18 distribution centres around the city. We also want to see that the local churches are building relationships with the community that are living around the area where the church is. So if there is a specific need in that particular community, then the food bank will be able to fill that need by setting up other services within the building as well. So friendship, help, support, anything really that people need.
Now, it's not much, but here at Staffslive we've collected a few bits and bobs to give and, help someone less fortunate than ourselves. So you can take that away with you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very appreciated. Thank you.
A dentist in Stoke-on-Trent has taken on a clinical hypnotherapist, to cut down a number of people who smoke.
Smoking is the biggest cause of mouth cancer and can cause gum disease, tooth loss and bad breath.
Our reporter Matthew Payne has been to the surgery to find out if hypnotherapy can stop the filthy habit.
This is causing the sunshine to dapple, and it creates an inviting place.
A jar showing how much tar a 20-a-day smoker takes into their lungs. But Synergy Dental Care in Biddulph is trying to cut down on smoking-related tooth problems by working with hypnotherapist Rosemary Wakeman to help people quit.
They get advice when they come here about health issues generally, and smoking certainly. They do get talked to about smoking. They can be a little bit defensive and resistant, but I would never wish to try and treat someone for smoking unless they absolutely wanted to give up. It wouldn't work if they were pressurised to come in to see me. They have to want to give up. Because what did you do before you smoked? Didn't do anything, did you? From all these different angles, which the programme I deliver does, you will stop smoking.
Dentist Richard Armershaw is certain that by adding this dimension to their dental service will reduce tooth problems.
What the hypnotherapist can do, Rosemary, is just introduce a pathway, a way of sort of taking their mind away from that craving, and what the hypnotherapist is going to try and do is just create this barrier to breaking down that extra habit that they otherwise can't do themselves.
But how did a self-confessed 20-a-day smoker find the session?
It's really interesting, and I was really glad to have the opportunity. I'm not sure whether that one session will help me quit, but after a few it might help.
You're drawn up towards the ceiling. You're certainly not having to support it in any way.
A scheme that could break the habit of a lifetime, even if it's just for the sake of your teeth. This is Matthew Payne reporting for Staffslive.
A 200-year-old pub is the latest of 44 buildings undergoing extensive development in Burslem.
It's part of the Townscape Heritage Initiative launched by the council to attract new business to the area. Chris Edwards reports.
We all know that the city's economy is at an all-time low with unemployment on the rise. So anything that can boost economic growth within Stoke is surely a good thing. Rita Siddiqui investigates why Hartshill Residents Association doesn't support a tattoos parlour new graffitied shutter, which is said to have helped trade.
A graffitied shutter of a tattoo parlour has proven to be more controversial than intended. The shutter is said to cause offence and is deemed inappropriate for the area. But owner of Creative Ink Studios says complaints haven't come from many residents.
At first, I actually thought there was a lot more complaints than there were. It was made out to me that there was a lot of complaints. And then when I got down to the bottom of it during the conversation with the Residents Association, they actually told me that there'd only been half a dozen complaints. And since then, I've been told that 5 of those 6 people are actually members of the Hartshill Residents Association committee.
The chair of Hartshill Residents Association says that they do support local businesses, but they don't support this image.
What people said to us was, we don't like it, we don't want it here, we just don't think it's appropriate in a what's primarily a residential area with small local shops and businesses. We think this thing looks kind of too ugly and sticks out like a sore thumb. The Residents Association is going to appeal to Mr. Ward, the owner of the premises, to make what reasonable changes he can. The majority, especially of long-established residents, would prefer this to be toned down.
But local residents we spoke to don't feel the shutter image is causing offence.
I suppose there's quite a few older residents in the area, it's probably because it's tattoos and they don't agree with it. I don't like tattoos myself, but I don't understand what the problem is, why it's hurting anybody, and if it's scaring somebody, God help it. There's nothing. Have you ever seen it yourself? There's no scary about it, is there at all? So I can't understand it, to be honest.
Well, I think it's probably quite edgy in terms of its style. Obviously, we've got various different communities here, so perhaps all the members of the community don't necessarily identify with that particular artistic style. It's not what you would call traditional.
If you've got little children, then it might be, it might frighten them. But apart from that, it doesn't really worry me.
Stoke City Council says that the owner is within his legal rights. David Ward said that since the image has gone up, it has helped boost trade by 50%, which can only be a good thing for the city's economy. This is Rita Siddiqui reporting for Staffslive.
The world's last traditional oatcake shop is to close after a four-year campaign to save it from demolition. Our reporter Joseph Blake went down to the hole in the wall to talk to the owner in the final days of the shop's life.
Hidden away amongst the derelict terraced houses, the world's last traditional front-of-house oatcake shop is as busy as ever. The family-run business has been making oatcakes at the hole in the wall for nearly 30 years in what would have been the kitchen at the end of a terraced house. But because of Stoke-on-Trent Council's regeneration programme, the popular eatery is being bought out by the council.
It needs replacing, some things do, but I'm sure there could have been some sort of adjustments around, but, you know.
What are you going to miss the most?
Oh, crikey. Everything. Customers, the everyday routine, walking into the little premises here, that's, you know, it's just grown on me over these years, hasn't it? We don't know what it's going to happen to it, but certainly it's going to be very heart-wrenching.
Despite a petition that gained over 5,000 signatures, on the 25th of March, the hole in the wall will close its, window for the last time, to the bitter disappointment of its dedicated customers.
I think it's disgusting. Glen's done his best to try and carry on with the business, but unfortunately that's not been possible. I think it's a great loss to the town of Stoke-on-Trent.
Everybody knows the hole in the wall, and it'll be a tragedy when this goes, because it's part of the community.
How does it feel that you're going to be knocking down one of the buildings then?
Not very nice. It's a nice building.
Alternative options to move are too expensive for Glenn and his wife Sue, but there is still hope that someone will buy their secret recipe and the couple will move to continue their line of famous oatcakes. This is Joseph Blake reporting for Staffslive.
Now, hopefully you don't need reminding about a certain special day this weekend, but if you're so far uninspired about what to get Mum on Mother's Day, we have someone who can help.
Yeah, Marie joins us in the studio now to share some ideas, but first, let's see some of what you've already planned.
There's financial constraints on a lot of people, so I suppose that's part of the problem. Even flowers cost a bomb these days. So, like I say, there's young families like ourselves, we haven't got a lot of spare cash coming in, so to be honest with you, I just appreciate a card.
It is nice to receive, and I know the first year after my mother died, when I looked at all the posters in the shops, I felt quite upset that I couldn't go out and buy her something.
It's not a big deal, but I do send a card and maybe a little gift, maybe a CD or something like that.
She expects more every year, so this year I wrote a poem for her. She's going to love it.
My mum actually lives down Bristol, so I don't get to see her much, so every time Mother's Day comes round, send her some chocolates, cards, the odd gift. It all depends what I can send through the post, really.
Very fond of flowers, very fond of flowers. I'm trying not to have chocolate because it's just, I don't want to eat it. But normally we go out for Sunday lunch together.
You don't need a card to show that your mum, you appreciate him. You can do it every day. Phone call, hug, message, whatever.
Now Marie's with us in the studio to tell us how to get Mother's Day right with a gift.
Hello, yes. As you've heard from the people we spoke to there, one of the major factors affecting people's choice of gift is, of course, the price. And purse strings are, everyone's clutching at the moment with the economy being the way it is. So my first suggestion is one where mothers go free, which is quite nice. So Trenton Gardens is offering free admission to the estate for all mums when they go with a member of the family that's paying. So Jess, if you take your mum, you pay for yourself, mum goes free. Alan Titchmarsh recently said that Trenton Gardens has one of the UK's must-see gardens, so definitely worth a visit and go now whilst it's better value. And the high ropes course at the site is also free for mothers, so if your mum's a bit of an adrenaline junkie, why not go and give that a go? On the topic of adrenaline junkies, Alton Towers Resort Spa also has a bit of a deal on. It's offering a range of packages combining treatments, lunch and use of the facilities there for just £69 per mother-daughter duo. And if your mum's a bit more traditional and would like nothing more than a bit of pub grub on Sunday afternoon, then I suggest the Dog and Doublet in Sandon near Stafford, which won the Tastes of Staffordshire Good Food Award last year.
Thanks a lot, Marie. So if your mum's an adrenaline junkie or just wants a bit of food, everything will be on our website, staffslive.co.uk.
Now, Staffordshire University's Diversity Fashion Show is just around the corner and the final preparations are underway. The show is a fundraiser for the Catherine House Hospice and over 100 students are taking part.
Staffslive reporter Stephanie Corr went to find out more.
After all the budget cuts that Staffordshire has seen, I'm here at the Catherine House Hospice to see how Stafford has helped keep it running.
It costs £2.5 million a year to run Catherine House Hospice, and all of our services are provided to our patients completely free of charge, which means that we rely very heavily on the support of our local community to provide the services, to raise the money to provide the services which we do to our patients. We get some funding from the government, but around about 25% is actually from the government and 75% is funded through the support of our local community.
The Diversity Fashion Show at Staffordshire University is one of 5 scheduled fundraising events for the hospice this year.
Chose Catherine House Hospice because it's a local charity, it's a good cause, and we wanted to keep it within the community, so we thought that'd be perfect, really.
The Diversity Fashion Show is Tuesday the 20th of March and tickets are available online at www.staffsunion.com. I'm Stephanie Corr, reporting for Staffslive.
OK, Jamie Lee's here with the sport, and could Stoke be going to Wembley?
We'll have to see, Rick, I suppose. That's right, Stoke City face one of their toughest matches this year against Liverpool on Sunday in the FA Cup quarter-final. A win will see them head to Wembley. The team were in training yesterday, where unusually manager Tony Pulis was running the session. He's revealed that keeper Thomas Sorensen will now play for the Potters. Although Pulis knows they're the underdogs, he's confident his team have a strong chance if they play to their full potential, but admits the last few weeks have been a struggle.
It's most probably the hardest run we've had. When you look at it, Chelsea away, Liverpool away, Tottenham away, and then Man City at home. You know, they don't get tougher than that. But it's, you know, we're in the Premier League, we're still in the FA Cup. You know, we've been in Europe. You know, this is something that the punters could only dream about a few years ago. So we're doing all, you know, we're living a dream, and that's the great thing about this at the moment.
Now for the weekend's football fixtures. Port Vale take on 6th place Crawley in League 2, whilst Burton Albion host 2nd place Torquay United. 9th place Crewe Alexandra entertain top of the league Swindon Town in a bid to secure their place at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Stoke City travelled to Liverpool on Sunday in an FA Cup quarter-final clash to win a place at Wembley. With the Olympics only 4 months away, the country is preparing to welcome the rest of the world into the UK, and Crewe is no exception. Now, you wouldn't normally necessarily associate a town like Crewe with beach volleyball, but at their university campus, they're preparing to welcome Olympic athletes to their new court. I went down to Crewe to find out more.
Olympic fever has swept the nation, and the students here at Manchester Metropolitan University are gearing up for some very special guests. Next Wednesday, the university are unveiling a brand new beach volleyball court, with pupils invited from local schools to come and test drive the new site. It might not look like much at the moment, but this beach volleyball training site here at MMU in Crewe is in fact an Olympic certified training ground. They've already had teams come as far afield as the Pacific and Australia, but now they're preparing to make improvements for the Games this coming July. Athletes from the Republic of Vanuatu are leaving their tropical climate to come and train over here in the not quite so sunny Cheshire to try and secure their Olympic place. Gareth Smith is part of the development team of the Olympic project here on campus. He believes it's a fantastic opportunity for students and the wider community to integrate with different nationalities and help push towards their Olympic dream.
In 2008 we signed an agreement with the Pacific Islands National Olympic Committee basically to host a beach volleyball camp here along with other camps for boxing and athletics for their countries ready for their preparation for London 2012. So it's a unique opportunity for these countries to come in. They're the developing countries in the world. We can support them in terms of their legacy when they go back home, but also they can support our students coming in and gaining employability skills for when the students graduate.
In the meantime, these young athletes are using the indoor facilities whilst final preparations are being made outside. They're hoping to learn a thing or two when their professionals arrive.
Gives us a chance to watch other people perform and see how they play the game. Yeah, it's right really. It gives us something to look up to, what we can develop to try and get towards.
Next, it was my turn. And being a novice at the sport, I was hoping that they could teach me some of their skills.
You want to get your arms in a triangle shape, and your hands want to also be in a triangle shape behind the ball.
So in a line, like this. Ooh. Ooh. The But after a few attempts, it was quite clear that I really wasn't any good. And then finally, success. I'd at least managed to get it over the net. Despite my newfound skills, I don't think I'll be winning many medals for Team GB. But for these guys, it could become a reality one day.
Thanks, Jamie. We'll get you to the Olympics yet, don't worry.
We'll see. That's all we've got time for. For any more information on today's stories, visit our website at www.staffslive.co.uk.